Sunday. Welcome back to Core Stats, powered by the Mayo Media Net here on YouTube. Brought to you by Jock Market, the very best brand new daily app where Wall Street meets Main Street meets 161st Street. Man, are we killing it? Or what is just ridiculous, man? Everything is ridiculous. The world is crazy right now. Everything is awesome, and you got to get down with us. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out the Twitter handle. The big dude is at MLB, moving averages at MLB, moving AVG. Coming out the chair, I turned 40 over the weekend, and oh my goodness, what a start to the second act, man. We are killing it with the 3 pillars of profit. The reason you come here every single day for the fastest show in MLB, absolutely anywhere. It's daily, DFS, and Jock Market. Download that app, put in the code MMN for free. They're going to get you $100 match, and it's been more than enough. We have the green screens to prove it, the testimonials to prove it already. We've had the #1 player in the Jock Market the past 5 days in a row, and that's just the first pillar. We're getting you fantasy information, bringing it to you hot and heavy. Got something really special as well. I put together an SP matrix. We're going to do the damn thing, me, you, and the Core Stats crew. Come on, that's how we roll. And then, of course, we'll wrap it up with the thing very near and dear to my heart, man. The reason we're here, betting to get that paper. We did it all. When I told you that we are going for the full spectrum, right? The whole coverage, the whole shebang, chimichanga, kit and caboodle, however you want to put it, check it out. This is not even really my style. I'm generally very conservative. I'm generally within myself, though I know I'm a bit of a maniac. But we were talking about the triple threat. Check this out. This is a single day. We were talking about DFS. We were talking about DraftKings. Huh? I jumped into a little tournament. Oh, first place. Ding, 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 ding. Well, Jock Market, you know how we were doing there. We had the #1 player, Byron Buxton. A ding, 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 ding. Well, I also put out home run tracker calls. Mr. Pat Mayo is the Mac, in case you didn't realize, and is allowing me the platform to bring you everything. Remember, the show in the morning is just the first brick in the house for the day. Lineups change, things change, weather, the whole nine. You got to stick with us throughout the day. We're here for you any time of day, any day of the week. This is what we do. I absolutely live for this. Getting me done with the day, baby. We're going to be putting out all the plays, home run trackers as well. Well, we put out a couple home run plays, parlay those bad boys, and ding, 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 ding. That's $12 into $500. Well, how much better could the day have possibly been? Well, what happens when you clean the betting board? Look at that. Ding, 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 ding. $9 into another, what, 900 or something like that. It was just absolutely ridiculous here for the Core Stats crew, just going bananas on the 3 pillars of profit, but we do not have a minute to spare. Let's get down and do this thing. Just remember really quick, you can always kind of check out the past videos. There's also a tutorial video about Jock Market, which I highly recommend. Why it's now at this point, I think we're up to 11.5 greater than signs over DraftKings and FanDuel and standard DFS platforms, which can be fun. And look, I like the winner-take-all idea. I think that's how those platforms should be geared. I don't even care about second place. You don't get anything. So go play DFS winner-take-all with all the picks I put out on Patreon. Don't worry about the P word. It's absolutely free, 100% gratis, just for you. If you want to tip, you go ahead. It's just to keep the lights on and keep the production value up so you can see more of this kind of handsome, rugged face. So let's get down and do the thing. We're going to be looking at stacks. I found this is the best way to take advantage of Jock Market. We'll even stick, a couple prices on it because that's the whole thing. One of the greater than signs over DraftKings is just the way that chalk plays out, right? So if a cheap player is identified in DraftKings as being a value, they go for 100% ownership, and it's really a nullifier. It doesn't do anything. In Jock Market, if a player is very popular, the physical price goes up. You got to pay for that popularity. You got to pay for that demand. This is the free market, baby. That's why we're doing so damn good in it, because you actually need a brain to succeed. When a player like that hits a certain point, you can say, no, thank you. But if you get a deal, what does that mean? It means it's inherently leveraged, okay? So if you find a cheap player, it's because there was no demand. And if they produce, you're going to get paid. We're doing it every single day. It is just bananas right now. First stack we're looking at, this is a very tough slate for pitching, by the way. All the aces going today. We want to be looking at Philadelphia Philly righties up against Kyle Freeland. He's one of the worst pitchers on the slate. He's really not even very bad. So we're going to be looking at Rhys Hoskins, Johan Camargo, and Alec Bohm. So a guy like Hoskins, we never want to pay more than $7.50 for everybody. I like to do a high, medium, low. Think $7.50, $5.50, $3.50. No one's really going to go below $3.50, especially anybody worth a damn. So the very best players will willing to go up to $7.50. The medium tier players will say $5.50. The bottom players, it's called $3.50. Again, I am the man in the arena. We have the black eyes. We have the scars here at the Mayo Media Net to prove it. I don't just talk it. I do it. It's how I keep the lights on and the kids fed up around here and keep a smoking hot wife extremely happy. That's how you do it, everybody. So Hoskins is probably the 550 type player. Camargo and Baum are the 350 type player. And if they end up going below that, remember, you can set a 350 bid. If they go for 275, you don't pay 350, you pay 275. And at the very end, if you really want to be sharp, the last minute or two, I like to circle back on the order page and see if I have a disparity that I usually backfill. Because remember, if you're saving 40 cents on 10 shares, that's $4. Buy yourself another share. See how we're always being sharp, head on a swivel, always up on the battlefield. Let's get back into the games. We're looking at the Texas righties against Framber Valdez, who is pretty good, but he struggled a bit lately. I'm telling you, it's a very, very, very tough slate. We're looking at Adolis Garcia, Nick Solak, Jonah Heim. Again, very cheap players, which again, I like. DraftKings, you need 10-player parlays and you need a catcher. I don't want to play a catcher. All right, Heim happens to be a catcher, but I don't want to play catcher. I don't want to play a second baseman. Solak happens to be a second baseman. But it is about the free market. You don't need a 10-player parlay. The top player on the board, if you have him, like we have, can float the entire team. That's just not how it works in DraftKings. We've all been there. We've had the best hitter. We've had 3 of the best hitters and had to go home with empty pockets. Forget that. All right, last one. You know, I've been picking on Walker Buehler all year and the fastball. I'm just not down with it. The shape is going in the wrong direction. We've seen the velo tick down. It's resulted in home runs. Now, he's still excellent. I know people get on me for hating him. I don't. I think he's awesome. But the fastball is a problem. I'm looking at Christian Walker today with the Diamondbacks. I think he actually goes yard. The fly ball rates through the roof against righties. The hard hit rate through the roof against righties. Just give an idea maybe how we get there a little bit. So I think that's that for daily. Again, very difficult. Wait till you see the pitchers. It's extremely difficult today. It's Corbin Burns. You don't want to play these guys. And again, Jock Market this minute. You take a few guys here and there, and if you get a price you like, you could leverage up on one player, opposed to, again, DraftKings and FanDuel and all these things we need. Again, I'm going to keep hammering it home. A 10-team parlay. You need a 10-team parlay to win. In Jock Market, we need to identify one bat. Okay. I mean, it's just so simple. It's actually ridiculous. And again, I've taken a $20 free promo. We just cracked $3,500 or whatever that is. 18,000% for you brainiacs out there. There is no jackpot, right? No jackpot. So I couldn't have just win one night. I'm like, oh, look at me. No, 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 no. You gotta grind every single day. I like to think of the yodeler and Price is Right. And he's heading up the mountain ever so slowly, but hopefully we don't fall off. All right, next up, we got some very special fantasy coverage for you every Monday. I am really, really trying to break the mold on the fantasy show, on the fantasy segment, I should say, part of the show. It's very important to me, but there's a lot of really good content out there. A lot of his long form, fully developed thoughts. I got to bring it hot and heavy, 115 off the crack of the bat. And listen, I'm a player myself, so I'm going to be kind of selfish and use this time to make myself better. And if I'm getting better, hopefully, I'm going to take you along with me. Grab onto the pinstripe coattail. Let's giddy up and go. I know we have audio-only listeners. I got to suggest that you try and get over. I'm going to be using the Fangraphs probable starters grid. I highly recommend you check it out. But if you have a second to just hop over to YouTube and just scan around, you can kind of see these things. Having them visualize really can be a big help. So let's dive in. We're going to go division by division and then league by league. So let's start with the AL East. You got it up on the board again for the people that can see it. I suggest you fully digest it to the best of your ability, and people that can't, I'll just try and walk you through maybe the pertinent stuff. You know, a lot of issues with pitching right now, you know, especially with the inceptions of opener. It's funny. Monday shows used to be all about like 2 starters and who you starting and not. Right now, if you have a healthy body, you're pretty much starting these guys, in particular if they're going twice. You know, Baltimore has got Lyles going twice, but he's got Yankees and Boston. Lyle's been pretty good. He's a perfect example of a pitcher in a 9-pitcher league. I don't know if you have the freedom to sit. If you do have the freedom to sit, then God bless you. Maybe I'd go with, not say a streamer, an ad, I should say. Maybe a guy like Glenn Otto that we just added. But a guy like Lyles, I think you really got to start. Yankees, you're starting pretty much across the board. Boston, really the same thing. I guess the one place I'd be sitting is really Michael Wacha. I haven't been a fan, and they've got Toronto. Thanks, but no thanks. Yankees are starting across the board. Tampa Bay, they have Fleming going twice. I don't really think you can get behind Fleming. I think he's like a 2-time through the order type of guy. Though he could be effective, you know, you really need the ability to get wins. If a guy's not giving you 5 innings, don't really go down that route. To that point, though, really, impact relievers, I don't know what we want to call these guys, hybrid pieces or whatever, those guys really have a lot of value now in fantasy. Whitlock actually just got to start, but he was the kind of guy, these kind of piggyback type guys. Man, you can get me 3 or 4 innings and cross that 5th inning. These guys are in line for wins. You know, you're getting Ks, they're protecting ratios. So they are viable in spots where maybe you find yourself getting caught a little bit. Toronto, you're rolling everybody out. I've never been a stripping guy. I would say thanks, but no thanks on that one. Berrios going 2 times. Again, do you have the freedom to sit Berrios? He's got Boston, and he's got Houston. That's like the worst matchups in the world. But you knew this when you drafted him. And I often talk about the division. I've even, again, I don't mean to trash Bueller, but it had been a thing for me with Dodgers pitchers, let's say, Julio Urias included, that I was worried that 3 of the 30 starts are in cores. That's 10% of your starter load that you don't want. And I worried the same thing about this murderous division, though. It's been a really soft start across the league, so I really think you roll with your horses. I actually got burned being stupid, and I sat Kevin Gausman last week for some bum. Listen, I take L's just like everybody else. Sometimes I'm in a bit of a rush in my home league. I don't give it the full attention. And, listen, that's a lesson to everybody else. You always got to make sure, with money on the line, that you're treating it properly. All right, that's enough for the AL East. Really not much there. Next up, we got AL Central action. White Sox offense been really, really disappointing. Kyle going 2 times. You got to let him go. Don't even touch that. Cleveland has got Bieber going 2 times. Of course, you're rolling him out. McKenzie going 2 times. Of course, you're rolling him out. He's got the Angels in Oakland. Angels is a little tough. I think he'll hold his own. He has a chance to shut down the Elephants on beach balls out in Oaktown. So make sure you got Tristan McKenzie going out there. Detroit Tigres, Detroit Rock City, Erod going 2 times. You got to go with him, even though he's got the Dodgers on the back end. Again, I'm just going to keep beating this dead horse. I can't imagine having drafted Erod and being able to sit him. Now, if you do get to a rankings question, by all means, please get to me. Hit me up during the day. This is, again, what we do. But I just don't think you could really get there at all. Like, really no way that you could sit Erod. I'm going with him all the way. Kansas City Royals have the youngster Daniel Lynch going 2 times. He was going to be really popular, but he's got the White Sox and the Yankees. The one thing the White Sox have done is hit lefties. The Yankees haven't really done much of anything, but they also hit lefties. I know he was a popular pick. I passed on him for the matchups. I would not like to start him. If I have to start him, I do understand there's potential for some viability, but gosh, you're really asking to run the gauntlet from the youngster right there. Minnesota Twins have Chris Paddock going 2 times. He looked pretty good. I think you roll him out this week for sure. He's got Detroit and he's at Tampa. We know that batting eye really tough on hitters. Here we go into the AL West, to the left coast. We go. Houston has Framber going 2 times, so you definitely got to get with him. Of course, he's had a little bit of struggles, but it's Texas and it's Toronto. Sorry, at Toronto again. The dead horse. I will not repeat it again. Into the Angels. Let's see. Oh, Michael Lorenzen. I want to get to him. I am a huge fan of him. It really wasn't tremendous going on. I can't get into all the details, but I did some diving. I really like what I see from Lorenzen. So get behind him. Maybe add him. He's been available in some leagues. I think that is a must. Oakland, I'm really just trying to avoid these guys like the plague. You get with Frankie Montas. He's got a tough matchup with Cleveland. That kind of stinks. He's the only guy that's even half viable. Logan Gilbert going twice for the Mariners. Got to love that. Chalk him up for sure. Texas has Dunning going twice. Hearn going twice. These are really show me weeks for both of these guys. I'm not a fan. I understand if you're starting them. Dunning has Houston and Atlanta, man. That's really tough. If he's good through those 2, I think you got a good piece. But there's a huge floor in this one this weekend. Let's get over to the National League. Atlanta we go. Fried eggs going twice. You got to get with him. Matchups are Texas and Chicago. That's going to be a big one for him. Miami Marlins have Alcantara going twice against the Nats and the Mariners. Gotta love that. Again, a lot of this stuff is pretty self-explanatory. Mets have old Blue Eye, Max Scherzer going 2 times. He's got St. Louis and he's got Philly. Could be a little tough for him, but again, you drafted him. You got to go. I think somebody maybe on the fence for some people that I might be a bit higher on is Kyle Gibson going 2 times for Philadelphia. He's home against Colorado. Colorado's been a little better than maybe we thought, but you could get against the Rockies on the road, and he's got the Mets in New York. I think I would pull the trigger on Kyle Gibson. I don't think the matchups are enough to run for the Hills. Washington, Josiah Gray 2 times. At Washington, at San Francisco, you gotta cue him up. I've been a fan all year. To the Central we go. Let's get some giddy-up people, as if we can go any faster. Marcus Stroman going 2 times for the Cubbies on the right side of the track. In Chi-Town, he's got Milwaukee. And at Atlanta, you got to roll him out there. No choice. Reverson Martin, this is a good one, going twice. He's got San Diego and at Colorado. That back end one should tip the scales. and say nay. Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff obviously is a go. Mitch Keller 2 times for the Pirates. Got to get with him. He's got Milwaukee and the Friar Tucks out in San Diego. I was big into Mitch Keller in the offseason. I drafted him everywhere. I actually dropped him in a couple places because injuries and stuff like that is what it is. Now I'm reacquiring. So I hope it doesn't come off as waffling. Just with new info, I make the best choice at the time that I can. I also don't ever blow my brains out in fab. So I am with Mitch Keller. He's a piece that could potentially stick, So if you can hold the roster spot for him, you definitely want to do that. Miles Michaelis, I've never really been big on him, but he keeps getting it done. You got to roll him out there. He's got St. Louis and the Diamondbacks. The back end of that one is pretty easy. Last division, it's the NL West. It's the Snakes with shapes on their back. Those sneaky Diamondbacks have the Dodgers. They got Merrill Kelly going 2 times. You got to roll him out. He's been very good, better than expectations. One of the sleeper misses that I've had, because I have seen or heard people mention Merrill Kelly as someone that they really like going in. I didn't see it. I didn't get behind it. And he looks pretty good, like a piece that really could stick. He could be on a lot of winning teams this year if this is legit. Dodgers are going to be tough, but again, you got to roll this guy out there if he's going 2 times. I can't really see you having a choice. Zach Davey going 2 times against Gonsolin and then Jordan Hicks. Even though Hicks is just opening, I would not be rolling Davies out there. I'm not interested. Colorado, I just don't really like anybody on this team. I don't like the idea of having half the games at home, and then none of them are really that good in the first place. So Freeling goes 2 times. He's got at Philly, home against Cincy. No thank you. Thanks, but no thanks. And that's been the problem with Herman Marquez. He's only going 1 time this week, but I'm still not interested pretty much ever. Even when you look at Philly, not a great matchup. I just can't get with it. I see the underlying skills. We've seen the potential. I'm not arguing any of that. I just don't want the headaches. If you could find me an argument without any headaches, get back to me. Let's get into the Trolley Dodgers from Hollywood. Always up to no good. Walker Buehler going twice. Yes, I've kind of trashed him, but excuse me. Yes, he is the man. He's the only 2-stepper. They're going with Gonsolin, Arias, Anderson, and Kershaw. So Dodgers expanded rotation, only going with 1 guy going twice. San Diego Padres, we got Joey Musgrove going 2 times. He's at Cincinnati and he's at Pitt. Big week for Musgrove on deck. Possibility for the SP1 in point leagues this week. Over to San Diego, 1 more maybe decision if you got. It's Sammy Long. I really would rather leave it. Again, a guy we've seen a bit of shine on. I'm not there. He's got to show me first. At Milwaukee, home versus Washington. I get it's pretty tempting. I've actually been getting into the Brewers as of late. They're starting to show some discipline and batted ball skills that I like, and I think they might be turning a corner. But that side, I know everybody wants to get at Washington. I see if you're queuing up Long, I'd rather not. He's really one of those bubble guys. I'd rather not have to start. I hopefully saw this coming, and that really is a pretty good, but let's wrap up the strategy part there is you got to think to yourself, if it's a 2-start week, am I starting him? If you like Long and you're going with him, I'm not saying ignore what I'm saying, but then you have your answer. If you're even on the fence with a matchup decision like this, the answer is probably no. And I know this sounds kind of cheesy, but maybe oversimplified. What I actually like to do is I like to just take my own projections for the 2 starts, translate it into points, and then see how it lines up. I know it sounds kind of dumb, but it really does just work because it kind of gives you a singular commodity, right? So there's the second pillar right there. We did the daily stacks, hit you up. We did some fantasy stuff. Hopefully that was a little bit different. The matrix board, a lot of places have the starters, but you don't get to see the matchups and exactly how it lines up. So hopefully we got you to some of that and some of those, last minute kind of decisions today. Let's pop into the betting board. The betting board is really, really difficult, although I'm going to try and start getting a graphic if I can. I put one together. So I have my bets. I guess maybe I won't spoil it just yet, right? In the business, they call that a teaser. So, excuse me. Again, very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. There really aren't that many games. Just check out the matchups. It's Freeland versus Gibson, Eovaldi versus Barrios, Scherzer and Michaelis, Framber versus Dunning, Bieber and Lorenzen, Buehler and Kelly. I mean, it's really tough. And you can see it from the stacks. I mean, when you're looking, I guess Philly's righties are where we're going to be wanting to look. I think Valdez, again, it's so early in the season. Anybody come out and look really sharp and be off to the races. I think he might have some weakness right now, and Texas is kind of beat up on lefty. So maybe I'm going to be looking for some runs there. And I mentioned Christian Walker. I couldn't find a home run prop just yet, but I'll be looking for that. Also, man, a quick note to that. Again, I don't just hear blah, 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 pick, it comes from nothing. Keep an eye on these home run props. Yes, we've done very well, but as I'm kind of looking at some of the math behind it and stuff, you got to get, if there's a home run prop, I'm going to get into the odds. When there's a home run prop, if even at 300 is the bare minimum. If it's not 300, out. Because now we're seeing that. Vlad and Soto, guys, at plus 275 for a home run, do not pay plus 275 ever. I don't even care if it's on the track or I guess we could put it in a home run parlay. You shouldn't really be parlaying home runs, but I put out so many plays and so many picks. It can be difficult to get exposure to everything. I'm completely honest about the risk management. You get that on the Patreon page. I really walk you through daily allotments and how to budget yourself to be sustainable. And I think that's the real key behind this. I'm actually wrapping up an article at The Athletic right now, the betting article I do every week, and it's the truth. I mean, my ability to pick winners in baseball games is probably like my 5th or 6th best trait in handicapping to me as far as making myself successful. When it's planning and management and discipline and all of these other things that really are way more important than being able to pick the winner. Because anybody can kind of flip a coin, and then when it happens on the field, batted ball stuff, umpires, whatever, it gets wonky. So it really becomes more about being procedural. And again, I hope that stuff isn't boring, but if you ever want to take the next step, that's how you do it. But I also want to get into the Yahoo crowd. So let's take a look at the bets today. I know, like I said, people have had it, so you can just kind of scan and check it out. I got Texas and Houston. Let's go over 8 near the plus money, and I'm going to stick with that. Merrill Kelly, love, and I'm going to go with the Walker Buehler hate, and we're going to go with Arizona, but not be greedy and not look for the win. Another thing that you're going to get with Cork Stats and being a super cheapskate is I love the plus 1.5. when it's at better than even money. We love that. No need to be greedy. You need a win from the Diamondbacks. Who wants that? Love the 1.5. I'm not sure, how do we put this quickly, is we want to have our money behind outcomes that the managers care about, right? Does that make sense? Managers don't care about spreads. Meaning, if the Dodgers are up 2 with a man on third and 1 out, they are easily going to sacrifice that run, and which is your money, right? So the Dodgers are going to sacrifice your money because they don't care about it. Avoid those situations, right? I mean, that's kind of intuitive. Avoid situations that the person that's kind of pulling the levers, you know what I mean, doesn't care about anymore. All right, so I'll do it. We're over the 20-minute mark, really where I like to cap it because there really is a certain point where there's too much of me. So that's the 3 pillars, everybody. You got your stacks. You got your fantasy look ahead, some starts. You got some bets for tonight. And I brought the receipts, to back it up. So everybody download the Jock Market app. Code is MMN, Mayo Media Net. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Get up in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter. All that good stuff. I try and get to everybody. Tag Patty Mayo. He especially likes to be tagged in the middle of the night. Tell him how good of a job I'm doing. Everybody, man. I'll check you later. Like I said, there's no faking this funk. I'm not shy about any of this. I put all the work out. Check out the starting pitching matrix. We do rankings, home run calls, plus picks and strategies. And then we'll be back to do it again tomorrow. Absolutely loving it. So remember, man, I catch you on the flip side. Enjoy the games. Enjoy the day. When you're done with the book, enjoy that pay, baby. Catch you on the flip side, yo. Peace.